Things are through. Hadn't put that one up yet. Copy back to 25. There we go. Should be on now. Sorry, we're getting a little bit of a slow Monday start. I've kept on my lap already. Dealing with lots of fun. All right. So, sorry. Still a little bit of a cough. It kind of went away, kind of came back. Kip kind of has it. So, a lot of fun. Um, all right. So, Monday after a holiday. Again, remember the whole rest of the world doesn't necessarily celebrate the holiday. But as you can see, for the most part, pound yen is the biggest mover on the board. We're seeing yen, or actually, I'm sorry, dollar yen actually is. We're seeing yen strength come in across the board. Um, we've been talking about this for a while, seeing this yen strength. It's just way too far extended. There's been slight changes, nothing I would say earth shatteringly different that came out. There's no, I didn't see it. Maybe I missed it. Um, yeah, I don't see anything in here that, BOJ intervened, but we were calling for it last week to kind of see this continue to push back to the downside. Overall, everything's kind of well within. I wouldn't say that there's any major dollar trends going on. You can see dollars the first pair, down 10 here, up 15 here, down against the Aussie, up against the euro, and then down versus the pound. And euro pound wise, the pound is got 19, which is decent, right? If that is a daily ATR of 35 percentage wise, that's not bad. It's pretty good. And we're getting a lot of comments here talking about different speeches, and that's probably what's kind of moving the euro around right now. We mentioned we expected the euro to be a little bit weaker. Again, just the dynamics of how it's formed, and that would be kind of. Shh, can you just watch? Just watch. Um, that was going to be more of an issue for the euro in relation to the pound. As far as today goes, again, new home sales is not really going to jack things around. There's retail sales, is what it is. As far as on Tuesday, this is kind of what we're dealing with right now. Tuesday morning early, again, consumer confidence will come in right afterwards. Expect to be a little bit weaker. And then obviously all the monetary policy stuff tomorrow night for New Zealand. But really today, what I'm expecting to hear for the most. You want to get down? You can get down. You want to get down? Yes, no. Here, you get down. If you're gonna, you can't play on the desk when I'm presenting here. Then you need to be. Then you need to be quiet. Have a little tantrum. Somebody's not happy this Monday. Um, but really, what I'm expected to see today is some comments and headlines. Um, Obviously, Black Friday, big deal. Cyber Monday, big deal. Small Business Saturday, which you didn't really hear as much about this year, I guess. Um, what? Thank you. Um, you'll start to hear like what sales numbers look like, and those tend to be good for the overall market, stock market in general. Different retailers and things. This is a big explosion for them. I did hear that I guess based off of the days or whatever. Um, I guess there are more days. I guess they're saying. Or, I don't know. They were talking earlier about there's extra spending days this time compared to what we've seen in the past. So I guess there's 31 days, which is significant. What? I don't know what you want. Go play. Daddy's busy. Daddy busy. Um, so we'll see how that turns out. I'm assuming there'll be a couple headlines, kind of move the stock market around a little bit, but for the most part, everybody's happy. People getting their trees, putting their stuff up. So is what it is. As far as where the VIX is, obviously a little bit of a gap. Whenever you have, obviously it was a shortened go that they can't deal with you now. Um, get your play. Get your play. If you want to sit on my lap, get your play. Come here. You sit here. You be quiet. Come on. Come on. Somebody got a haircut, and I don't know if they like it or not like it, but yeah, it's not very good. I'm definitely not a barber. VIX is up a little bit today, but when we say up, we're only at 13. I mean, it's not high at all. Again, you can see with that shortened session. Really not a whole lot out there that really can move things around. I mean, right now the dollar it's basically flat from where it was. Again, we came down from that 104 area. Last week we were talking about kind of playing with that. 103.50 ish, and then it looks like as of Friday, we pushed down and we're kind of holding that 103.40 ish, 103. I mean, we're still in that 103.50 ish range. With the U.S. market coming online now, I expect to see it push a little bit. All the indices just slightly. I mean, again, they're definitely event Monday. Um, you know, new week Mondays. All just slightly. I mean, I guess the Russell's down 1%, but again, minus 0.13, minus 0.05, minus 0.19. That's basically nothing. They have the ability to roll back pretty easy. Looking at crude, starting the week off at 75. We talked about closing at 75. You can see it's down a little bit from where it closed last time, but we're right around that 75 mark. There's a different number of different articles about this, and we'll see how this one continues. You know, gold. I think gold is again gold and silver. This drop down here, or actually natural gas is down to 275, which we mentioned it kind of going down. It was gonna, it was gonna depend on the weather. Gold and silver, I think, are unusually high from where they are right now. People are assuming inflation's coming back in. Silver up 1.67. I would say that's the biggest mover on the board. 2470 is a big number. It's like, wow, we going to 25. Um, and again, eh, typically you're going in these directions when you start to think about inflation. The environment is going to be pro-inflationary, right? um 2011, I think that's way high for gold for where it should be right now. And again, it just, is there going to be more entrenched inflation? Is that going to be our new baseline? A lot of questions to ask there. And again, we'll see what we have for the rest of the week. um Going on the Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar, we had talked about this level last week, and again, we didn't see anything over here. You can see that one pushed down. Let's clean some of these off, get them off. Let's push this all the way up to here now. We can push this and change trend, so we're going to remove it. Last week we talked about 6613 was a higher time frame level. It's way. Whoops. I was like, why does it look big? It was a confirmed level. We had marked it off here back from God, beginning of August. Um, that's what we just kind of bounced off of, and you're seeing it kind of reverse. This was a 4 hour level, so we knew that it was something on the bigger side. Is it where you want to pull the trigger, first thing in the morning on a Monday after a holiday at 8:30? Typically not. But it is, it does have a nice little pullback in there. It's down 22. Whoops, sorry, trying to get my coffee moved to the other side here. All right. But where we are right now, again, pretty high up on the curve. What are they saying here? What's the news? Oh, just poised data volatility, U.S. weakness. I mean, it says it was 34 weakness, but it's also pushed down. So, right now we had this little last area here we were talking about as a potential kind of turn point. We talked about the rally base and then pop off of it, and it touched it Wednesday at 10:30, and that was truly the bottom. And we kind of ground up, and then again Thursday, a little bit of movement back, but obviously no dollar influence. And then Friday we had half day. Really, I guess what? Yeah, this momentum is all really kind of Monday morning. So, um, it's kind of at midnight. So here's the 3 o'clock window. Um, so yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say again, we're high in the curve. Am I ready to pull the trigger right now? I mean, we're pulling back to levels here. Let's see. Let's run some fibs off of this. And again, so much in here. Yeah, you can see it's right at the 23. So, we're kind of an area where there's some buying in here. I would say, look, the next kind of pivot is down here at the 50. If we're able to break through, I would say that that's not a bad target down here. I turn this yellow and black to see this probably come down into that area somewhere. Um, I'd like you to push through this. It's a legitimate level, but I mean, again, it was at 3, 4 o'clock this morning on a Monday after a holiday, so the U.S. trader was you know, not really involved there. Yeah. So the problem I have with this one, if this was not a 4 hour level, I would say this is probably not a bad place to take a long. Um, the problem that I have with it is that this turn, we know why it turned here, right? It turned here because this was a 4 hour level. It was a confirmed level, barely touched before, and it hit it again and pushed down again. So you're kind of fighting a larger time frame level down. Tend to be risky. Now, could you get a 1 to 3 in here? It'd be really, really close. It'd be really, really close. Ideally, what I'd like to see it do is base and then push back down again. Again, without, yeah, blippy. Without a lot of dollar influence, I think that kind of made sense. Yeah, I'd like this one more for short. You don't want to go long into a 4 hour zone. Again, it's had two basic, barely any touches in there. Um, so yeah, ugh, yeah. So take it for what it's worth. I would say I like this one more bearish. See some dollar strength roll back into the market. If there was not a 4 hour level, this would be a potential pullback 23, extension in there. But I just be cautious with it. If we do base though, I do think we could go down. There's a little bit of an area I'm worried about here, but for the most part, again, if we can break through, it's only about 24 pips. I think this is a much better level down here, playing with kind of these areas here with this kind of touch. I think that's a better place to go long if we're going to have some dollar weakness roll back into the market. Again, it's just the dollar's really been offline for a few days. It's coming back again. We tend to see dollar strength roll back in, and we rolled off a 4 hour. It's not something I'm willing to, again, the waves are too big to go against in that case. The Aussie dollar. I'm sorry, Aussie yen. So you can see the Aussie yen really reversed early morning. Yeah, midnight we kind of came back up at 5:30 ish, about 4:30 ish. We kind of rolled, and this is an old level. I mean, this is not new. You can see this is we talked about this last week. Again, this was on Thursday. This one kind of chopped through. Again, low volume. We hit it. We started the base. You're like, oh, it's breaking, and it did. And you can see, look, there's the base, and there's the kind of the push off, the red, green, red. And what did it do? It came back and used it on Friday morning, super early in the morning. Again, I didn't trade this one. I was definitely not trading on Friday this week, last week, but you could have absolutely taken that one. So again, nice little trade there. It's blown through here. You can see at the top again, there is where the top is. Again, you got to show some caution with it. It established a new level Friday morning, again, lower volume, and we came back up and touched it this morning. So kind of the same thing. You're seeing kind of that Aussie weakness kind of weakened at this point, and I think being short the yen is not necessarily the worst position. We still have a Harry Potter lower as of right now. Let's see. We came through the 78, so let's take this off. Let's go shrink this a little bit so I can see it. There you go. So yeah, you can see the 23 didn't even slow it down, just blew right through. There is a level down here at the 50. I think that's a better level. I think, again, let this continue to deteriorate down again. We'll see what happens at this 50% level. Could you reverse off of that one? Maybe. It's not the cleanest of levels, but if you get a green, red, green, maybe it pops higher. There is a Harry Potter below it. At this point, I think look for this one to kind of push a little bit lower. Again, if we do break, and again, if you really want, set an alert coming through that level. You could set an alert there and say, okay, hey, right? If that punches through, then I'm willing to start looking at shorts. And again, the 50's in there, so it could potentially bounce back and forth. Yeah, I like this one short more. I would say as far as watch list, again, set an alert, look for that one. Could it potentially come down and could it potentially come to this 50 mark here, hit this level and bounce? It could, right? It could. Is it this one? Oh, it's this one. Right? Could it do something along those lines? Sure, sure. But I think the higher chances, again, wait for it to pop and push through. Euro dollar. Okay. Again, sitting a little bit high. You can see the European session kind of came in here, pushed up and went lower. We're in an area right now where we had buyers. They went lower. Buyers again went lowers, and again, it is lower. To me, it looks like it will continue to push down. I wonder. This is the old kind of level here. I'd say right now that's a great little target. What do we have? What news is coming in? Yeah, it's about a 35 pip runner. Again, high in the curve, looking for more dollar kind of strength to come back in the market. We're at an area right now where there's buyers, and it's kind of an old, again, it's an old violated level. But we've hit it one, hit it two, hit it three. We are pushing a little bit lower. I would say right now, if you're short, again, you are going to have to chug through this, but I think this is an overall point that we're looking for. There is a base here, and again, this is kind of it's almost there's a touch here, but at the same time, there's a level sitting right here, so it's kind of a level on top of a level. Um, when we can break through one of these two levels, I think I, you know what? I think if we can get through here, I think there's probably a trade to push this bone back down into the 108 range. Again, we still have this alert looking to take over this piece right here. But right now, again, it's pretty deep in its reversal back again from the morning. Again, a red, green, red inside of a zone pushing to the downside. Finding the buyers, there is a base there, but this is the third hit. Again, we should start breaking through that one. Again, this is from Friday morning before the European session. So a low volume based time. it will be able to push through that. And again, what I would do is I'd like to see a base that happens somewhere in here, right? I'd like to see a base in here, and then we'll take this short back into that 108 range. I think that makes a lot more sense. We just need the dollar to kind of get a little more, a little bit more strength. We need a couple headlines, and again, could be all the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all that kind of stuff. When those headlines start coming, it may show, it could do one of two things. One, it could show us that it's, the um, the U.S. spender is still spending. It's I don't know. It's funny. Every year, they're like, oh, it's going to be a bad year. We're not going to make as much money, and then it's like record profits on Amazon. Like every year. There was a guy on this morning talking about basically that people are so conditioned to only buy things when it's on sale. You want to get on value. It's like, well, yes, everybody's excited and that's why they sell so much, but like, do you actually believe that companies are losing money on Black Friday and Cyber Monday? No. No, people will buy things only in those 2 dates to get it on sale, but they're still making money off of it. They're still making profit. And if people wanted it that bad, they would have bought it at other times. But I think that's wrong. It's like people are conditioned. It's like, well, you're the one that conditioned them. So yeah. Maybe you just have overpriced goods the rest of the year, you know? So yeah. Because you're not losing money, right? You're not losing money on Black Friday. You're looking for it. You love it, right? How much money will we make? How much in sales do we have? So yeah, I would say right now, bearish thinking. It's already a little bit deep to pull the trigger right now. There are three hits. There's not necessarily a Harry Potter because of two little pivots in here. But I think if we can get below the 108.76, look for this to push all the way down to the 108.24, and we have an official Harry Potter alert down there. Continuing to drive, and we talked about this. What time did we hit that one? Yeah, see how we started the base right below it? 5:30, 6 o'clock on Friday. Again, not the greatest time, but see the basing. We said, hey, listen, here's a potential reversal if we can get it. This is kind of what we were more talking for on that kind of Thursday point. And when it pushed back up again, you can see buyers here, buyers here. We started the base, and you're like, oh man, we're basing before a zone. Okay, let's mark it. And then we broke the zone, and guess what? We talk about Harry Potter's of violated zones, and guess what? There you go. That's exactly what it looks like. Again, that base, especially the way that this base formed. Look, that's a really nice. Look at that. That's really nice. A pop. We have the red, the green, the red down. That red, green, red is like the ideal um, confirmation. And then boom, again, Friday, 4 o'clock. You taking this one? No. But Sunday night, could you take that one? Sure. Monday at 5:30. Yeah, that's awesome, right? And that was a pretty decent run down. Again, 25 pips for this pair. That's a lot. Blippy. Um, yeah, Blippy. He's going to Vegas. Um, he's saying Blippy better. He just used to say B before. Now he's saying two syllables. He's actually behind in the speaking. He should be saying more words. But we're kind of like, do we want him to say more words? It's like, will he stop talking at that point? So Euro pound, I think we're at an area right now where we do have to be cautious of reversals. You're seeing it kind of tick up a little bit. It's been here before. It's not the greatest of bottoms, but it's not bad. I mean, again, it's 7 pips. If anything, you may not want to necessarily pull the trigger, especially because this is really where the profit target should be coming from this area. Again, this was a great trade setup right here. Again, I don't really trade the Euro pound too much. The movement on it is just very, very small. The daily ATR is up to 36, though. I mean, we're flying now, but this is a really nice little trade setup. You should be taking yourself out on profit here. Again, we're gonna have to see it kind of base in here before we bounce through. Yeah. So could we see reversal? Some European strength roll back in? Yeah. All this news is going to be washed out soon, and we should see some profit taking it roll back again. You can see there's more European data this week. I actually don't think there's much. Let me see. I don't think there's much pound wise. None. Yeah, there's not much Wednesday, right? And then OPEC is considered everybody's problem. Um, Not much for the pound this week. So again, if anything, we are really low on the curve. 86 for me is kind of 86.50 ish. I would say when you look at this one in its range historically, 86, 86.50 tends to be where the median point is for them. Um, we're gonna have to see. We got to get through this level, and then we have a clear run all the way down to like the 86.20. So, um, Yeah, I, I would like to see again, and remember, this is not necessarily taking the trade. What I'm saying is, what's the bias for the euro or the pound? Which one's be stronger or weak? I think we may have a little bit of a reversal today, and again, some European strength rolling back in, just because again, this is where your profit should be. If we can break through, again, I think the European weakness continues. I don't think either of them is particularly strong necessarily versus the dollar. Again, they're just different markets. We have more sustainability than both those two markets. But overall, I do think between the two, the European Union will have more problems than the UK. It just we got to get through a couple of these levels in here, and again, we're going to see profit taking because this is definitely pushed back down. You can see we were all the way up in this 87, 80 range. Um, a week ago, week and a half ago, right? So again, big push, probably a little bit of reversal back again, but I don't think either of them are going to be enough that I'm like willing to go against the dollar. Euro yen looks very very similar now. We had talked about a level. We had warned people that, hey, listen, it's already been here twice before. It has pushed it pretty deep, so wait for the confirmation. And you can see we started getting that base in there on Friday morning. Okay. Now we did get a red, a green, and again, it kind of popped here. And this was like that Sunday night kind of first rally up again. This is a harder one to trade. Really, the zone again. We were looking for a reversal, but when it dies here at the end of the European market on Friday, like this is when all the markets closed. You're like, yeah, I got to see a reset in here. The reset was really up here. It didn't hit it. I'd love to say that it did. It didn't, unfortunately. These were old levels, and you can see they rolled back. And again, on this side, I kind of grabbed it. Same thing over here, right? Um, yeah, this is the third hit from this level. Again, I would be not surprised. It's the third hit. Can I see a reversal off of this? Yes, we've had. Let's see, how far is this push from 530? It's 100 pips. So we have 100 pips down since 5:30. There are 4:30 this morning. It's got a daily ATR of 111. So would I expect a reverse off this level? Yeah, it's trying to form its base right above. It's trying to set up sellers here so it has enough to power through. But you can see on the other side, and it's not really far away. It's about 11 pips. There's an area of backstopping. So just like they're forming an area of sellers right here to help power if it needs it. When it comes down, it can pull back up and grab the sellers there to punch through. There's an area of buyers sitting right behind it. So again, the euro is in a place now where we should see some profit taking. It doesn't necessarily mean euro strength rolling back into the market, but it's definitely in an area where, again, if we see a little bit of a pop, being that 10:30 time frame, I could see it coming in. So, but again, 1, 2, and if we're forming a base here, it looks like it's trying to find buyers that continue to push through. But again, right now, it's if we are forming buyers there, right? If this is where the buyers are here, that's kind of what our window is looking like. That it's going to be a little bit of a battleground. So, um, again, if you are short, look to grab profit in here. Shame because that's a really nice move. It just didn't come back up to the sellers. Um, um, so yeah, I look for this to push through. It's forming the base right now, but it's going to be a battleground. We got to get this one in reverse. Take profit if it comes down and hits this level. If you are trailing this short, again, put it right above where the green candle is. Don't play with this one. Don't lose your profits. 100 pips in that short of a period of time. That's a nice trade. Don't let it take all the way back on you because, again, they are confirmed buyers here. It's been here twice. Nice little pop. Again, we just got to clear the holiday news out. Pound dollar. So, pound dollar. We had marked this level off and we said, hey, listen, right? It's hit here before. It's kind of hit up and pushed down and kind of came up again. It's actually there's original base and there's a touch, there's a touch, there's a touch. So this is technically the third hit, and that's why we left it yellow. We didn't necessarily have anything. It wasn't kind of like a pulled trigger on it, right? Um, as you can see, we came up and just grabbed the other level. So you can see it did Harry Potter off the top side, and again, it went through. Yeah, it went through Friday and then used it Sunday night. So kind of just a more of a continuation. Let's bring this back up again. Again, that had popped there. Let's take that there. We're looking for a pop here, which we didn't get yet. I'll leave that one there. Hmm. So ideally, this is not a Harry Potter ish based trade, right? Because again, you're seeing the impulse, the correction, impulse correction, strong impulse up. But what I am seeing is a lot of basing occurring right there. Right. Um, I'm almost wondering if we pull the trigger when it goes below. Here's why. Yeah, there's hiccups in here, but these are Friday morning. There was no real U.S. influence. This is only the pound really in here affecting it. And the 23 is sitting here, and you can see, look at all this basing down here at the 23 level. I'm wondering if we look for a short base position here. Whoops. Like that. And again, I'd like to see where it bases. Maybe it bases a little bit above and it uses that to punch through. But I'm wondering if we look for a short come out of this area. It's only Yeah, it's 11.5 pips. 1 to 3 is only sitting right there. It's not even all the way back down to the 23. But when this breaks through, people are going to start looking at this 23 saying, okay, we're looking for longs down here as this continues to punch through. Um, yeah, I think we look for that to push through. Again, it's dollar strength coming in. Again, I think the overall dollar is going to be stronger than what the UK is. Again, where we are, interest rates are better. Again, more sustainability. Again, the UK definitely, officially in a recession. We're not. So I think there's a lot more to it. That one's not bad, just to bring us back, right? Bring us back a little bit. Pound yen, you can see, looks very, very similar. Here's Sunday. Here's your Friday. Unfortunately, kind of the same. Here was the rally today. It didn't come up and grab it, unfortunately. So let's pull this off. Let's get some new fibs on this guy. Here, again, it did Harry Potter off that one. Look at that Friday morning, right? Our trade was out. It shot forward, came back, went over the weekend, and then bam, Friday at 3:30. Right? We had the up, the base, the pullback, and again exaggerated, but man, did it go! It's a nice little run. Um, Man, how much did that move on Friday? I actually didn't look at this one on Friday. 150 pips. So yeah. All right. So yeah, that's what we got going on right here. I wish there was more of a base. I almost want to say that. It's already pulled back a little bit. Did it? Huh. Yeah, I almost want to say that there's your zone above. Again, we had to drop to a 15, which I really hate doing. Um, Something along those lines. All right, we've punched through it twice already. We know we got a little bit of a Harry Potter. There's plenty of room to run on this one. Again, here's the bottom section, plenty of room. There was the kind of the top section. I like that one for short, and I'm on board with this one. I do think the yen is kind of retracing what it normally would do today. So, um, yeah, look for it to push. Um, Dollar CAD. All right, so this one push back, obviously. Let's erase what we can. Step pushed. Stop. And this one may actually leave early. Can you just stand here, please? Clear the back here. Let's get this off. We're out of that one. Let's pull this. This here. Unfortunately, using this is fine for a target, right? It's fine for a target, but it's not really a great entry because it just there's no like clean. Let's say probably there is where you want to take your profit, but it's not. I mean, it's pretty ugly as far as where it's going. Um, yeah, I'd like to see it go back up. If we can get 137, I'm sorry, 136.77, I like that one. The things I'm looking at, I think we got to kind of chunk through this, but at the same time, we have a kind of a level sitting right in here. If we can get back up, I like that one short. Overall, look to take profit down at 135, 82. There's probably going to be a little bit of a hiccup coming in right here, but it's not horrible. It's not horrible. Whoops. I wish I could say there was a better area, but it's not horrible. It's like not the worst level formation at all. The red is the lowest, which I like. The green is there. Again, one, two, three ascending candles. There is a touch on there. So, I almost want to say, do I want to pull the trigger early on this one? I feel like it's. Oh, there's an area right here, too. Oh, this is why I hate some Mondays right after a holiday. Because here's all Sunday night levels, but there's no U.S. influence. Yeah, they're driving up, but it's lower. There is a level there, and this side should get blasted, right? One, two, three, four, with the base down there. It should get broken. Question is this the place to pull the trigger? Like, is this, there's your confirmation, 5 o'clock in the morning. Is this the trigger? And do we see this? Right? That's what I'm wondering right now. Are we not going to get this one? I do like this one. I think this is great. If this is the bottom right now, I do love this. If we do start to rally back up, or even if we go sideways, I do like this. It's a nice little kind of drop here. Strong push, right, on Friday morning. And again, we knew we had Canadian news, so very emotional. And it's a 50% level. So I do like that level. 136.77 is good, but I'm wondering if we're going to kind of turn and roll back down again from where we are right now. And if we do 136.06, it could actually be a takeoff point to the top side. So, yeah, not opposed to that one. Not opposed to that one. So again, come down here, look for potentially a long, and again a short off that level. But right now, if you're going to get short, take profit first. Dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss is quite choppy back and forth, right? That's what Dollar Swiss is looking like, and you can say there's the one, there's the two, there's the basing, there's the three. It came back down again, and now it's basing, and now it became the top side. So yeah, it's out, but it's really not much difference. Again, just not a whole lot of movement on this one. We're still in the 30, and this almost looks like a 15-minute one. Not a lot of factors in this. If anything, I'd say, again, if we continue that dollar strength, we push back up. You can see the 23 does have sellers in there, but look at all, look at this level right here. All this in here. And then we have all this in here, right? So not a lot of clear sailing. I don't think the Swiss has anything this week. Do we have any Swiss data? Just OPEC meetings. So yeah, so no real Swiss influence. So this will literally just be kind of another almost like dollar index kind of bouncing back and forth. Um, eh, I'd say grindy, but for me, there's no trade setups in this one right now. There's just too much. I mean, again, this is like the average is almost everything. It's the same, right? Minus these two here, it's all the same movement back and forth. So just nothing great. Dollar yen. Dollar yen, you can see we talked about this being a kind of reversal. Well, 11 o'clock, it did turn a little bit early, and we mentioned that could be the case. You can see, obviously, we had a big pullback, and this is where we took off on Wednesday. That's what we're slamming into front run here, and it's trying to find buyers above to kind of push lower. There are some people at the 61.8. Um, there's a little bit of a battle going on. Here, we can bring this down here if you really want. I know it moved it a little, but again, we were looking for kind of where that area was. Um, I think the 61 is a next decent reversal. I think this is a news based trade right here. Okay. Um, I think this is a potential 148.15. I think that's a potential news move because it has the 61.8 associated with it. It's got some room to run down to right now, about 70 pips. It's got a daily ATR of 107. No, what are you doing? Stop. You fell for it again, didn't you? Yeah, I don't know how you found that. Oh, but I'm on YouTube Kids, and like the top one is always an ad. So Kip sees it, and he's like, "Oh, I want to play with that." But it's like YouTube Kids, and he ends up buying. He's trying to buy life insurance. It's like I don't think that is an appropriate ad. YouTube. He's two. He doesn't quite need life insurance yet. Anyway, I like this one short still. Again, I know we're talking about some dollar strength rolling back in, but it looks like the overall prevalent trend that we're seeing is the yen actually kind of not strengthening, but kind of getting back to where it should be. Do you want to take a Harry Potter out of this one? You could, if anything. The way that it's basing above, if it kind of comes down and starts to push back up again, I think there could be more said about that level right there, as far as where we take it short from. If it comes down and it kind of peaks its head, right? If it doesn't push all the way down and it starts pulling back up again, I think that's probably a decent short level to take this one back down to the 148. So something along of, I don't know, if it does this, right? I think that would be a decent move. Again, it may come in there and play with the last little bit of buyers in there. If it just goes straight down, if it goes all the way though, then no, it invalidates itself. But if it does come down and start to pull back up, um, yeah, look for that push back down again. Yeah, it's fine. It is what it is. It's where it is right now. Let's look at this oil thing. All right, so oil again, we got the nice little push up. That was 10:30 on Wednesday. We expected to go into the holiday weekend. I did what it's supposed to do. We mentioned this old 23 and the level of buyers right here, and there you go. Actually, this should have been shrunk to there. Again, this is Friday at 10:30. Drove straight down. Right. Again, the U.S. influence was not there, and we pushed back down. So right now, it looks like this is kind of again. There's our. Oops. Okay. We're playing with a 50% retracement level right now in the middle. I can tell you there's a base right there, right? Big drop base. We're playing with it. It's 10:30. If it reverses back down, great. Um, Overall, again, the holidays out. We should see oil push back down a little bit. I know that it is rallying. It's up 0.13. Again, it is pushing back up, but we know we have levels of sellers. You can see if we go here, we're sitting right at a 50. And again, this is, you know, 1018, 50% retracement from Friday at 10:30, right? From the last most recent high to low, there's a level of basing in there and 10:30 and a 50% retracement level. So this tends to be where people pull the trigger to go south. So there you go. Natural gas. Natural gas going lower. You can see it kind of gapped up, came back and used that old level and finally broke through. We were looking for that one. You can see we had the red level there. Yep, we looked at that through. So where does this one stop? We have a contract switch coming up tomorrow, actually. So I would expect price to jump up in the overnight. Again, that's what we tend to see with the contract switches. I'd like to see where it stabilizes. Again, natural gas falls to a 2 month low as long term forecast sees a warm start to the winter, right? What we were hearing last week, the forecast is saying it's going to be cold, right? It's going to be a blizzard. You could actually see snow this year, and that's what drove it up. But it's like, in a couple of days when they tell us it's going to be warm, it's going to go down, and it did. It went down. Again, I like to see with the contract switch where it rolls it, and then we'll get a better idea. You can see how much time it actually spent. It actually came higher and then got really, really weak without the U.S. Open. So, um, yeah, let's see. Next big level looks like we have is sitting right in this level here. Right, let's just do put that there. Yeah, so there's buyers there. I'd like to see what happens with the contract switch for tomorrow. So, as of right now, again, with the warmer context today, I think this continues to deteriorate. It's already down 4%, so it should continue in that process. Do I want to pull a trigger? Do I want to go long? No, not from there. I think it's got some more room to run before it really becomes a big thing. Gold. Okay, so gold, we are sitting high in the curve. Again, we saw this one push down. That's from last week. Let's take these off. 2000, we're going to continue having it marked. If anything, wondering if this is going to be our new level of basing right up here. Again, it was over here, and we hit it here, hit it here, hit it here, sliced through, and that was like number 4, and then we punched higher. Yeah, again, I think it's more of a bearish area for me. We had the nice little spike that came up on Sunday night. And now you're seeing a lot more sellers coming in. You're seeing kind of the lows getting lower and the swings back again. I think it probably pushes back down. And probably you can see there's so much base around 2000. Probably starts to stabilize around 2000, right? So if we unclick this, go for the dollar for the week, you can see again, consumer confidence is going to be a big thing. Waller speaking. Again, looking at the preliminary GDPs, it's expected to go higher on a quarterly basis. Again, that's kind of some dollar strength rolling back in. And again, the price index, we'll see what that one does. Again, core PCE expected to go lower. Maybe it doesn't. Unemployment claims are there as well. Maybe this stays at 0.3 for that core PCE price index. If it does, again, another dollar strength. So a couple different dollar strength based things. I'm curious to see if this push up is in preparation for what we're going to see. Again, the market tends to know. So, overall, I would say it's not a bad level, but again, gold is such a weird one right now. Silver also pushing higher, and again, with 25 so close, it's probably going to use the 25 as more of a level. Now, some of the Chinese data, or some of the data that we are seeing for for silver, is coming from here. Things like this, right? Hong Kong's exports unexpectedly grow and China demand improves. You may say, well, what the heck does this have to do with silver? Whenever China has positive news, things like silver and gold tend to get a little bit of a pop. Silver gets of it because when things are good in China, they tend to try to expand. And again, silver has that industrial metal type component to it. We saw silver kind of taken off before because of Chinese demand. So whenever you see things like this, silver does tend to move. And if it's unexpected growth, hey, that's good. The market didn't prepare for it. You tend to see silver move. And that's what I think we're seeing right now. So it should level out and push back down. But as far as finding an area of sellers, I would wait for the 25 mark. Again, 25 being a quarterly number. And by quarter, again, obviously in the quarters theory, anything with round numbers at zeros or 50s or quarters obviously matters. For something like this, you may say, well, 24 is a big number. It is, but not as big of a number as 20 and 25. They are going to be bigger numbers where the market will look for turns and reversal. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Again, look for a decent top put in. There's some opportunity in here. I mean, this big spike was Sunday night at 8 o'clock. Again, Chinese data, right? That popped it higher. Again, this start on Friday, not really a U.S. component in there. We just kind of saw it rise, right? So it should tear back down and come back down to the 24 level. It's about finding the right top. Look for a red, green, red. But again, you can see right now, I mean, it's so close to 50, but we're already starting to struggle. We got three different tops in there to kind of push this to the downside. What's the VIX doing? VIX again pushing back down again. Not surprised. Dollar again, kind of pushing up at that 10:30 mark. It's pulling back for some profit taking. We'll see if this is going to be a true bottom. We'll figure out what we do. The indices again. The Russell was up over 1% when we started. Now it's only. I'm sorry, it was down over 1%. Now it's down only 0.5, and everything else is more or less flat. So let's see. Yeah, look, 30-minute right there. Right. Look at that, right? Straight down, straight up. Look, 9 is down, 9:15 is green straight up again. So again, typically not a great area. Now, there was an overnight level. Again, this was late night, and again, 5 o'clock is where it was confirmed, right? We kind of missed it. I don't want to claim that this is the 9:30 open candle right here. It technically missed. I'm not gonna say that it did. It missed. Had you hit it here and you went all the way back up again, I think you would have been out. Here, we'll change it here. I'll do it here and then make it trigger. Oops, wrong way. My bad. Let's see. I don't know if you again maybe yours you got out. 1 to 3 is right there. So let's see. I'll make it trigger. It's out. You see it came down. So had you have that set, and if it did actually trigger, which on mine it did not, but if it did trigger, you can see that you had that much space. Right? You had plenty of space on that one. So I didn't catch it. But all it's doing is it's rolling back down again. The 9:30 open was right here. It's actually below the 9:30 open, but we're still basically in the same area. The 9:15 candle was down here. So it's still chopping back and forth. Again, is ES going to be a monster one? Not really. I don't think today it does much. Is this an area of buyers? Absolutely. It is a Monday morning early and confirmed. So is it a level that it can bounce off of? Sure. Do I think today's going to be a blazing day? No, not after the holiday. Not yet. It's going to need a little bit of news. Consumer confidence tomorrow, probably. Um, this one I think is probably a better one for tomorrow morning because, again, consumer confidence. What the consumer confidence was kind of gives us an indication of what Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Small Business Saturday, all that kind of stuff will be. And again, once we start hearing those kind of like record, oh my God, or my God, this is the lowest sales ever. Okay, maybe, but um, I don't know. Every year they're like, oh, you know what? It's not going to be as good this year. And then they're like, oh my God, we blew it out. It's amazing. We had no idea. So yeah, I think sideways more than anything else. Hasn't moved much. NQ, yeah, look at this. 9:30 candle, 9:30 candle. Look at it right here. Right. This one had a level lower, but nothing confirmed off of it. You don't really take a 9 o'clock as a confirmation from it. So not really the best of areas. If anything, this one kind of again showing the opening print on this one, you're like, yeah, it's a holiday weekend. Um, there's your confirmation, but that's the third hit. Yeah. So it went all the way up to this level. Yeah, those are Friday at 7:15. Not taking that one. So as far as NQ, I would say really not much. And again, you can see NQ opened here. It technically is. If you had gotten long at the open, you're technically positive, not negative. And actually, look, it's trying to roll back in. So, but a lot of whip back and forth. It shows you that the market doesn't really know. And you can see strong up and down. It pushed higher, broke it. And again, why I'm pointing this out is when we break the opening candle, people do what? They go long and immediately straight back down right to where we opened. So not a lot of driving factors there. Look at who I am. This one did have a confirmed level over here in the overnight. Again, we did not touch it. It was too far. Um, yeah, there's your 9. There's your 9:15. And then it came back down. And then what happened at 9:30? Uh, all the way up to here, all the way down to there. And we closed here. So yeah, more inside day. Looking like it wants to be more negative. There's a small area down here we have buyers, but right now yeah, we're kind of inside the craziness of the open. So yeah, I mean, there was no. I mean, 9:15 was there that broke the high. So again, not a confirmed level. Yeah, there's nothing on the top for us really to get short of. This was all Sunday and late last week. Nothing to confirm it here because the 9:15 went through the top. So yeah, there's probably a lot of people that got stopped out at the open today. If you were trading the Dow. Yeah, look at that. I mean, between the Dow and I think this is probably a little bit worse. Again, setting some traps there, but this is pretty bad too. Like we got Russell. Yeah, Russell. 9:30 again. The 1800 is always so hard to play. Again, it's the third time it hit. Not really. Big drop. Again, technically we were positive on the day right now if you were able to ride this all the way down and all the way back up again. But there are actually it's funny. There's actually sellers sitting right above where we are right now too. So again, this was down 1 point. 1-2 or something like that. What did you do again? You hit the button. Yeah, you keep falling for these ads. There you go. Overall, I would say it looks like Russell's going to be a little bit more negative. And again, I will say, okay, so right now, with them all barely moving from the open again, they had a big push and a retracement back again. I would say, I know we typically mention Russell has the most exposure to any type of interest rate discussion. Are you going to buy a motorcycle now? Earnings, Cyber Monday, will also affect the Russell. Right now, Amazon, obviously not a Cyber Monday, but again, a lot of the suppliers and things like that come from smaller companies. I don't know. I mean, you get a good thing like, oh my God, Etsy sales were high this year, right? People are going for more of that, stay local, support small business type stuff. Russell will move from that, right? But typically, for the most part, when we talk about, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, those tend to be more of your ES and NQ type areas. Not even so much YM, maybe a little bit, but mostly ES and Q tend to have the most exposure. But you will see some with the Russell and it'll be more volatile. So again, where Russell is, looks like it wants to be a little bit short. Again, we were down big at 9:30, but by 9:15, it was a rally all the way back up to basically where we were before the news opened. So again, not a lot of driving factors, and it just whips on people. You see big down, you're like, holy crap, it's going to get smoked today. Sell, and then bam, right back up again. So yeah, a lot of retail traders probably lost money at the open today for all three of them. And again, things like the NQ. I mean, just look at the whips back and forth, right? And it looks like it's trying. It's trying its best. It's trying, but man, all these whips back and forth is like, man, let's just slam the retail trader. They made so much money off their Black Friday deals. They saved so much money. And again, look at this. This is just ugly. So yeah, kind of a hard morning. And again, that's what we see, right? That's what we see. Let's see what she said. In other words, this is your turn, BOJ. Right? Keeping a close eye on exchange rates. Did you say anything else? No, that's just the video. Euro area activity has stagnated in a recent quarter and is likely to remain weak for the rest of the year. So remember we talked, I didn't read this before. Remember we talked about this? This is not the time to start declaring victory. We expect the weakening of inflationary pressures to continue. We need to remain attentive to different forces affecting inflation and firmly focus on our mandate and price stability. So this is all weak. And, we talked about the euro pound. I hadn't even read this yet, but this is what I'm talking about. Again, growth is stagnated already, and their interest rates are not even close to what everybody else's are, right? Yeah, it's not victory, but guess what? When everybody else is cutting, you're going to raise interest rates? No, your growth is already stagnated. If you raise it anymore, you're going to hurt growth even more and then put yourself into a kind of a depressionary type situation. So again, I think European week is what we're looking at. Oh, here you go. New home sales. And not as good as expected. And an adjustment last time. So again, this is a little bit off. Yeah, there was a 40,000 different last time and a 40,000 different this time. So the forecast was based off of this. Guess what? It was off by 40. So the forecast on this one was down 40. So again, new home sales. Who wants to pay high interest rates if you don't have to? So all right, with that, let's go ahead and do our drawing for today. We got 3 in. I won't say any names today because you know who gets upset when I do that. I'll give it to the 32nd, right? 2:30 is where we let everybody get in. And hopefully everybody had a great Thanksgiving, right? I feel like we went through the turkey. My mom, for some reason, kept most of the leftovers. We took the pies, though. We took the pies. She gave me the stuffing yesterday because she's like, I'm not going to eat this. I'm like, all right, we'll take it because I have, 2 growing boys. And yeah, it was good. It was relaxing. It was relaxing. 4 more. And there we go. Bam, look at that. Nailed it right on. All right, winner of today's drawing is Debbie. Debbie takes it with 1. Go, Debbie. Leaderboard. Let's go to Debbie. Debbie right here. She'll get her 25 for our Cyber Monday, right? For our Cyber Monday. All right. So again, remember tomorrow morning. Let's click all. Tomorrow morning does have some data, right? It's all U.S. based data. We have something small in there. I would expect really to kind of have like a Thanksgiving hangover. Again, any type of headlines. Why not? The headlines will be great. I think those can only, again, maybe they'll say it, but every year they're like, oh, you know what? The deals are just, inflationary pressures and supply chain. And remember during COVID, they're like, oh, Black Friday, we're not going to sell as much supply chain. And then they had record numbers of sales. So, yeah. So, it's whatever. All right, with that, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Again, look for the market to kind of reset itself today, get back to business, and again, start preparing for the holidays. All right, with that, I'm out of here. You have a good one. Thank you again, and I'll see you tomorrow.